Yo, what is up guys, Space here and welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. And today I'm going to go over the auction in World of Tanks Blitz. Obviously I've already covered the Winter Fair event that is currently in the game. If you'd like to go and watch that, there'll be a link at the top right of your screen to go and watch that. But first let's go over the auction in the game. So now, how would you go and see the auction, you might ask? You can first click the big box at the top left. It will either be your consolation or it'll be the auction preview. And then you can actually just press start bidding to go ahead and go to the website where you can buy these tanks. You can also press the top left, that's your mail, go to feed, press on auction, and then press the let the bidding commence, and it'll take you to this website. And this website is the official World of Tanks auction page. I'm going to go over all the tanks here and let you know my thoughts on them and exactly what I would think of the prices that are being sold at, and if I would suggest you to wait a bit longer. And it allows you to get some very nice tanks here. As you can see, if you're not aware of the auction, basically what happens is that every day these prices on these vehicles will drop by however amount is listed, and there is also only a limited amount of tanks. As you can see, the Badger over here, there's only 2,879 of them left. Usually there's about 3,000 of each of these vehicles, and yeah, as you can see, about 130 of these tanks have already been bought, and as you can see, the next price drop will be about 1,000 gold cheaper. Currently, the Badger at 15,000 gold is actually a steal. I'm going to say that right now. The Badger, most of the times, has been sold for about 20,000 and up. And a lot of the times, actually 22,000 and 25,000 gold in order to get your hands on it. And for it being 15,000 gold is already a steal as it is. And I would suggest you to get it. However, don't go and just spend your gold right away. As you can see, it's going to drop 1,000 gold, and 1,000 gold is still a hell of a lot that you can keep and save for future tanks. So I would personally suggest you to wait the 23 hours, and then it's going to drop by 14k. And if no one is actually collecting the vehicle, obviously you want to make sure that the tank doesn't run out before you try to buy it, because you might say to yourself, I'm going to wait the 3 days, wait for it to get to 12,000 gold. But most of the times, the tank doesn't really last that long, and everyone has already bought it by then, and you're going to be very upset because you waited to save 1,000 gold and now the tank is no longer available to buy. And as you can see, you can get it for 14k gold by tomorrow. Now, first of all, we have the TL7, which is a tier 9 vehicle. For some reason, it's actually not showing up here. I don't know why. I've tried refreshing the page multiple times. Let me know if you guys are having the same issue, but it currently just doesn't show the tank's profile here. But the TL7 is basically the M103, but a collector's version. So I wouldn't really suggest spending your gold on it. As you can see, by tomorrow it'll be about 11,750 gold, which is almost 1,000 gold cheaper than it is currently right now. And for that price, for a tier 9 vehicle, that is pretty decent. It is nice. However, the tank is quite slow. It's for what it is, and you're really going to get something that you can get from a free version in the tech tree, like the M103. And I wouldn't really suggest spending your gold on this vehicle, since you can get the M103 for absolutely free. The next in the list here is the Object 252U, which is a Russian vehicle that has been in the game for a very long time. It's a premium tank, and it is still one of the most strongest tier 8 tanks in the game. Its armor is absolutely busted. Most tanks cannot even pen this vehicle at all, besides its massive lower plate. The gun it has is basically that average Russian heavy tank gun. It's a 420 or 410 alpha gun, if I'm not mistaken, but it's basically going to hit really hard, and you're going to have a hell of a lot of armor to bounce some shells, and it's actually a very nice mobile vehicle. I wouldn't suggest getting it for 8,000 gold. I would wait for it to drop to about 5,000 gold, and then I'd tell you to get your hands on it, because at 5,000 gold that would be a steal. However, currently at 8,000 gold, it is kind of the average at which this tank usually gets sold at, and I wouldn't really suggest waiting in the auction for getting a tank that you can get in the store for the same price. So definitely suggest waiting for it to drop to about 5,000 gold. I do believe there is 3 days each for each auction that pops up. Obviously, a new set of tanks will come soon, and I believe it is every 3 days. So you can expect the price drop here to drop 3 times, and obviously just calculate on that how much you will actually be saving. Object 252, great tank. Don't suggest getting it for 8,000 gold though. Wait for it to drop about to 5,000 gold. The next tank on the list is the M60, one of my all-time favorite tanks in my garage. However, lately, not really. In the latest update of World of Tanks Blitz, it was kind of left in the dust because it was very similar to the M48 pattern in the tech tree. And for that reason, if you got this one, you were actually getting a better gun, in my opinion. However, nowadays, the M48 pattern in the tech tree has way more armor. Its gun is pretty similar to this one, and you're getting overall a better experience in the M48 pattern than you do in the M60 nowadays. So personally, I wouldn't really suggest getting the M60 at all. Even though it's a premium tank, it doesn't have a credit coefficient, which means you won't get extra credits from it. And for 15,000 gold, yes, it'll drop by 500 gold by tomorrow, potentially hit 13,000 gold and for that price, it's not a bad price for a tier 10 vehicle. But for the M60, because you can get the M48 pattern in the tech tree for absolutely free, there's no point in getting the M60, guys. I don't suggest getting it. It's one of the vehicles in this list that I don't suggest you to get. Now we have the FV217 BADGER, which I slightly went over in the beginning there, but basically 15,000 gold, solid price for the BADGER as it is right now. If you do have the gold, I would suggest you to get the tank, obviously 100%. It's the best one in this list. However, as you can see, there is 2,868 of them left, which is not really that bad. I would have thought maybe people would have been spending a lot more and getting this tank. But currently in the first hour, no one has really bought this as much as I thought they would have. So maybe we could see this tank hitting about 12,000 gold, which is actually ludicrous. Maybe 13k gold at most, but I think it will be about 12,000 gold, somewhere around there. And for that price, even if it is 13,000 gold, it is a solid price. Definitely suggest you to wait it out and make sure you're always looking at how many vehicles are left so that you don't get into a situation where the tank gets sold out. So definitely suggest you to get the BADGER if you have the gold. Next on the list is a T26E5 Sheriff. I like to just call it the Sheriff, but obviously the Sheriff is the legendary camouflage for the vehicle. This tank is not the greatest tank out there, but it is a decent tier 8 vehicle. It's a premium tank as well. It will earn you more credits, and for 7,500 gold, not too bad, but I would suggest you to wait for this vehicle to be around the 6,000 gold mark if you are looking in getting that tank. However, I will say that the T26E5 is a better option than the Object 252U, but we could potentially see the Object 252 to be cheaper because it is going in intervals of 8,000 gold by tomorrow, where the T26E5 is only going by 250 gold. So potentially the Object 252U will be cheaper than the T26E5, and in that case it will be a better bet to get the Object 252U. Just have a look at the prices because they can fluctuate. The next tank on the list is the Type 62. Now this tank is a very old tank. It's been in the game for a very long time, and it is a very fun vehicle if you are a good player. As you can see, a lot of people have already bought the tank, and I'm not sure why, because it is a tier 7 premium vehicle, and if you are a very good player, I would suggest getting it. But if you're not a good player, most of the time you're going to struggle playing the Type 62 as it has no armor. However, what it does have is one of the best heat pens in a light tank / medium tank ever in the game. Its heat pen on this tank is absolutely crazy for its tier, and it means that you'll pen absolutely everybody. Its fast firing gun means that you can put out a lot of shells very quickly, and its DPM is very good for the type of tank it is. So for 4,000 gold, don't really suggest getting it because obviously the price will drop, and I don't think a lot of people are going to buy it. So if you're someone who is a decent tank at playing light tanks and likes playing those lower tiers at tier 7, I would actually highly suggest you to get the Type 62. And can potentially see this tank hitting about 2,500 gold, and at that price it's an absolute steal, and would highly suggest you to get it. We then have the Turtle Mark 1, which is the most absolute dog crap tank in the game. I hate the Turtle Mark 1. I've said this many times in live streams. The Turtle Mark 1 is the worst tank in the game. I'm going to say it right now. I hate the tank to oblivion. It can do really well. Don't get me mistaken. It's a tank that can do well. Every tank can do well in the game, but the Turtle Mark 1 is just not it, guys. At tier 8, there is so many better options in here, like the Sheriff and the Object 252U. You would be an absolute idiot to go ahead and buy the Turtle Mark 1. I'm being straightforward because this tank is not great, and if you are going to spend your gold on it instead of getting the other two options in the auction, then you are being very silly, because the Turtle Mark 1, there's nothing fun about it. It's a slow tank, doesn't really have the armor that it should, and its gun can be unreliable at most. And yeah, don't suggest getting it. Even for 7,500 gold, that is a ridiculous price for the tank you're getting. If, for instance, it drops to about 4,000 gold, which I highly doubt it will, it probably won't ever hit that mark, but that would be an okay price for a tier 8 premium tank if you are in the market for one. So yeah, don't suggest getting the Turtle Mark 1. That is the worst in the list, as well as the M60. In comparison to the M60, the reason why I'm not telling you to buy the M60 is because there's a better tech tree version, where the Turtle Mark 1, everything is literally better than it, and wouldn't suggest getting it, especially for that price. Anyways, guys, let me know what you thought of the auction in World of Tanks Blitz. Do you think what I said about the tanks is correlates with your thoughts, and what do you think of what I said about the prices and when I suggest you to go ahead and buy those tanks. Now, I definitely suggest you to subscribe because I'm going to be going over the next set of auction tanks very, very soon when they come out, and giving you my opinions and what I think of them and if I suggest you to buy them. But anyways, guys, hopefully this video was helpful to you. If it was, you can leave a like and subscribe. And with that being said, hopefully your shots hit their marks, and I'll check you in the next one. Cheers.